we cannot stress this enough, is in the same context as that we need to define the difference between expensive and costly. We need to define the difference between an investment and an expense.
Yes.
If you continue to look at everything in your life as an expense, you will fail.
Welcome to the whole wealth journey.
Wealth with a Y. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Are we spelling it funny?
No, I think it's
We're using the word Y.
the word Y, right?
Okay, good.
Not the letter Y, the actual word Y.
Well, I know why.
Why?
Because we want to help people get on their path. Then the path is all about their why.
And it's about aligning your finances with the people, the experience, and the passions that give their lives true meaning.
It's getting way beyond the bank statements, the brokerage statements, the trust documents, the life insurance, and taking a deeper dive into your why.
Well, admittedly, we're not for everyone. This is different. We're for the bold ones who really want to dive deeper and seek a life that resonates with who they really are at their core, who finds value in vulnerability.
Well,
You and I do.
you and I do, and that's where we want to play, but not everybody is comfortable with that vulnerability.
Maybe we should introduce ourselves. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good idea. Jim Gebhardt.
And I'm Matthew Grishman. We are the co-creators of the podcast, The Whole Wealth Journey. Ready to find your why? Then let's get started and get you one step closer to unlocking your inner wealth and well-being.
I had a very interesting conversation about a week ago with the 27-year-old son of a good friend of mine, who he happens to be a quantitative finance MBA student at a school back east.
Nice.
And we got into this conversation around AI and cryptocurrency and where AI is going and what they're doing and how what Tesla is doing with their self-driving now is not camera-based per se. And this is way beyond my pay grade with what I'm about to say next, but it is developing a sense of vision and reaction that is not necessarily camera-based.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway, that's how I got here in my flying car, since it's 2025 and the Jetsons are making a comeback.
Right.
With the futuristic stuff. It just feels weird to say.
You think about like the 90s. And that was like 20 years ago, right? When we were in the 90s.
Close.
Right? When I think of 20 years ago and we're still in the 21st century, that's incredible. So happy New Year and happy belated
Happy New
birthday.
Year. Thank you very much.
Right? How was
Speed
it?
limit. The speed limit is just fine at 55. Beth and I are now looking at active adult communities. Grant's going to have to live at somewhere else in with a 7-day cat feeder, because we're going to be in the active adult communities here in the Serengeti Hills. Or,
Nice.
I don't know.
That's beautiful. You guys joined AARP yet?
Oh, no, they send you that stuff when you're a fitty.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, have they broken you yet? Have you become a member yet?
No, but I am looking forward to the first time I get a discount on my cup of coffee.
Well, I was going to say, you get a 10% discount at Denny's and Bobby Rubino's and all the lovely early
Golden
bird.
Corral.
Yeah, probably.
Cracker Barrel.
Probably.
All the places you and I fancy.
Swear we will never walk in a day in our life.
How are your New Year's resolutions going?
Oh, they're going fabulous because I don't have none.
That away.
Yeah, New Year's resolutions suck. I don't do those anymore.
Yeah.
Because for me, New Year's resolutions, and we've shared this before, the minute I fail, because it's inevitable, right? At some point, I'm going to set a resolution that I'm doing this or I'm not doing that. And I'm human. So at some point, I'm going to F it all up and not do it. And then if it's a resolution, I'm done, right? I'm done. I give up. It's over. I can't do it.
Almost like an absolution.
That's what we should call them. New Year's absolutions. Look at that little inner Catholic in you coming out today.
It's coming out,
right,
Monsignor?
I'm telling you,
Monsignor Goldberg.
The Jew and the Gentiles is going to happen, people. If you were with us on the Christmas Eve episode, I see great things for us in 2025.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Now, don't be fooled, because it's going to be your job to guess who's who. Gesundheit, oy vey, right?
Oy vey is mir gesucht.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Play ball.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, right?
There you go.
I'll go jab for jab with you, brother. right?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love
So
our
you don't
universal
do
love.
you don't do New Year's absolutions?
No,
Okay.
no. We have this little list. It's called the Say No More list. And it's how we measure progress. It's how we get a little bit better this year. And Lindsay on our team is one of my big accountability partners for the one thing I've added to my Say No More list this year. I've only put one thing on the list. Now,
I know what it is.
you do?
Mhm.
Did she share it with you?
No, but you had them in your bag the last episode we were here.
I did?
Yeah. Chocolate potato chips.
Right.
Yeah. You said no to those.
I did. So that was last year, though.
Okay.
So I have
Oh,
one.
this is a new one.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Sure.
I don't make this list until I think, right? I start thinking, what are the things I really need to say no to? Because and let me also say, part of the genesis of where this whole Say No More came from is that, you and I, we like to grow. We're entrepreneurs. We're builders. We're
Lifelong students.
Yeah, we're just always trying to learn and grow. So we go to these conferences, we go to these training events, we hire these coaches, and we invest a substantial amount of money to go be with these people in these places. And I've shared this with you. One of the things I always walk away with from those traditional events in the past is this feeling of less than. I'm not doing enough. There's so much more I have to be doing. Right? We'll go to an industry conference where they'll show all the cool new...
Oh, I just did one.
Right. All the cool new stuff in our business that we need to know about. And all of a sudden I feel overwhelmed with, holy cow, I got so much to do, until we met Eason. And he was the very first person who put on a little dog and pony show down in La Jolla with this idea of, no, less is more. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less. Dan Sullivan, strategic coach, unique
Different message,
ability,
sure.
right? Different messenger. Similar message.
Who, not how.
Absolutely. Well, that's part of doing less,
That's what I mean.
right?
Yeah.
And unique ability, right? Figuring out what it is that you're supposed to be spending 70, 80, 90% of your time doing because you're great at it, you love it, it helps people, and it probably brings a couple dollars in the door, right? So if all of a sudden now, instead of doing more, I do less to focus on that, life gets a lot better, right?
The
So
Japanese have a word for this.
is it ikigai?
Very good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nice. Yes. The ikigai is, it's strong in this one. So the Say No More list is something that kind of happens over time, and there's no deadline of when the new one has to be there. So I've thought of one for 2025.
Okay.
No more hurrying. No more rushing. Even when I'm late. It's so unhealthy for me, and I see how it affects other people. And one of the reasons why I asked Lindsay to be my accountability partner on this is because I see it so often when I'm speaking with her. We have our Monday call every Monday at noon, which I'm usually coming in hot from being at the gym for a couple hours on Monday, getting my head and body straight so that I can actually show up in the week as a helpful human being. And she is my very first, what I would call, performance of the week. And not a performance from a standpoint of traditional, but just first business person that I'm engaging with for the week. And I'm coming in hot, and I'm going a million miles an hour, and I can sense
I've seen that once or thrice.
how that overwhelms her at times. And I asked her about that. Oh yeah, you go fast. Okay, we're going to slow down a little bit. But the way we're going to slow down is by eliminating the need to feel hurried. And I asked her, would you be okay helping me with that? As you see me trying to hurry, trying to rush, hey, slow down. Are you okay doing that? And she said, absolutely. So it's pretty cool when you can identify something like that. Now, does that mean I'll never hurry for the rest of 2025?
Sure.
I hope so, but the
Sure.
reality is I'm human.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to hurry at some point and catch myself
Yeah.
like I'm doing right now. I feel myself hurrying through this whole little spiel right now.
Well, I mean, you're, as is often the case when someone's telling a story, I'm in my head, right?
Mhm.
Bo introduced us to that concept. I'm in my head, my story. And I have Jim Kelly, God bless him,
Mm-hmm.
going through my head with his famous phrase, slow down to go faster.
Yeah, there you go.
The concept of going faster or rushing or hurrying because you somehow feel as though you're going to catch up is counterproductive. It's counterintuitive and it's counterproductive. You actually have to slow down because what happens when people traditionally go fast is they make mistakes.
Yes.
Balls are dropped, mistakes happen, things are forgotten. I mean, come on. Anybody who's listening to this, you've done it a million times in your life. I do too. And I try to build little protocols for how that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Right? So for instance, I'm charging my iPad, which happens to be in our laundry room, but my bag and everything else is in the dining room. The number of times I have left the now charged iPad that I live on, and I've had to go home. So what do I do now is I put my keys on the iPad. Can't leave the house without them. If it's not the keys, it's the wall. It's the iPhone-y thing. The iPhone. I leave the iPhone on it.
There you go.
Right? I can charge it there.
Yeah.
So anyway, this whole concept of not rushing, I love it. I think as an absolutism or whatever we're calling the say no more.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
I just want to be able to sit here with you a year from now and look back and be able to see that I hurried less.
Yeah.
Right? I heard this, my old friend Brian Soto, when we coached baseball together. He used to say to the kids, be quick, but don't rush, especially in the infield, right? Be quick, but don't rush. Because as you know, you're right. When we rush, when we hurry, it invites mistakes. I found myself doing this in the gym a couple of days ago, where I'm looking at the time.
Ooh, you can injure yourself very badly.
I'm at the end of my leg workout doing these little calf raises where I'm supposed to do these tempo reps where I'm going up. I start really low where I stretch out the whole calf and then come up halfway, pause, go back down all the way to the bottom stretch with a 3 count, right? So they're these slow, burn the crap out of yourself.
Sure, and you're looking at the clock going tickety-tock-tock.
I can't do 12 of these. Oh my God, I better. And I found myself starting to rush through and then I stopped. Hang on. How about we get 4 quality reps in and then honor the time commitment that I got to get out of here. Okay, I didn't get all 12 in, but I'm better off getting 4 quality reps in than rushing through 12 and potentially ripping a muscle.
Sure.
And then I'm out of the gym now for 2 months.
Sure.
Right?
100%.
So there's so much benefit to myself, to the people around me, that if I just slow everything down by saying no to hurry, that'll be a huge accomplishment for me this year.
That's a doozy.
Just to make progress.
I love it.
Absolutely. How are you doing on the old New Year's resolution list?
You know, I don't have a new one to add to that. You have a more developed list of say no mores than I do. I think of them more in the context of principles. And I'm envious of the list that you've created. I mean, for example, we've talked about no fast food on, say no more to fast food.
Yeah.
And at this point in my journey, that's built in. That's like the great Intel commercials, Intel Inside.
Yeah.
Right. I just don't.
Right.
I don't eat fast food.
Right. Well, you've been programmed to finally see the poison that it is.
Yeah. And it's enough in my being that
Yes.
I just don't do it.
Yes.
Right. And so I don't have the specificity to the list the way you do. But what I'm enjoying is all of the energy that I've put into my health and fitness in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And what I haven't found it yet, but what I'm looking for in 2025, and the healthiest, fittest people I know train for something.
Sure.
And I don't have anything that I'm training for. And I am kind of going through a thought process of what is that going to be for me in 2025 as a 55-year-old.
Okay.
And I've been given some nominations, and I am processing and remembering my old tale of Dr. Frank Bersani, and I can't, and trying to set that aside and honoring it for what it's done for me in the prior part of my life. But it's
Sure.
like, okay, the thought of running a 5K with my knee and the condition that that's in seems like I can't, but I know it's not.
Sure.
Right. So anyway, that's one of the things I'm exploring here in the new year is what am I going to train for?
Nice. Very nice.
And then I don't want it to be, here it is September and I'm training for something in November. That's too far out for me.
Yeah.
I'd like something, maybe I get a 2 for this year. I get 2 things that an April, May, and October, November.
Sure.
So we're having fun with that.
Sure. Well, and one of the things you have been training for, it's not within the normal bounds of some athletic accomplishment like a 5K or a marathon, but something you've been very specifically training for is to honor some components to our partnership that you and I are both trying to button up from the business. And that might be some pretty important stuff to be training for.
Yeah, it is definitely in a different context.
Totally. It's not a date on the calendar, right?
No,
it's different.
And it's not an event.
Correct. It's different.
No, but it's
There's
a big
purpose.
old
Yeah.
checkbox.
Right. Just so we're both very clear on the motivation behind the whole 2024 significant investment in our health is this realization that there are a significant number of people who depend on us to show up. And knowing that you and I want to be less dependent upon to show up, that we'd love to teach others how to do what we do. That's one of the big things we're going to work on in 2025.
Absolutely.
Is inviting more people from our industry who want to do it the way we do it to come be a part of this thing that we've created and learn how to do what we do. We have a significant amount of relevance to our business and our families, our staff, our clients, our community. They want us to be healthy and be engaged and bring the skills and the unique abilities that we've developed. So,
well, unfortunately, you and I both now want that too.
yes.
I can't say as though you and I always wanted that.
Right. Oh, no.
Because of the work and the effort that goes into having that result isn't quite as funner as what we used to do.
Yes. Absolutely. Bringing our old friend Bo back, one of the things that I think has helped us a little bit, I had a recent I don't want a day.
Oh, sure.
I don't want to.
Oh, sure.
But he always talked to us about changing our relationship with practice, changing our relationship with pain, changing our relationship with preparation, and learning how to love it. And the only way that that's been able to happen for me is by experiencing some of the benefit of the preparation and the work.
And even if it's a couple of droplets
Yes.
of the sweetness,
Yes.
it will get you to do a frickin' Romanian deadlift or a goblet squat or some horrific, torturous exercise that someone has created.
Yes.
Goddamn Jack LaLanne.
Yes.
But yeah, no, and once you connect the dots on that,
Yeah.
it's almost like that thing, like what they always say, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Right. It's like once you've seen the progress and you feel what that feels like, you just want more of it.
Yes.
And I'm willing to go push through the days when I don't wanna.
Yes.
And, there's 2 feet of snow outside and you got to shovel the driveway and you got to shovel the car and put your galoshes on. Oh, that's right. That's for other people on the East Coast.
Well, for our listeners who aren't in California, that's exactly what they're experiencing.
Right. So I totally get it.
Well, this is stuff we're going to be exploring a lot more because I know just from my own experience, your experience, Ace's experience, that at times I've been stuck. And I know that there are members of our tribe who are with us today on the whole wealth journey who are a little stuck in this space. And it's okay, right? People who are with us who are wildly successful in so many areas of their life, wildly successful in business, wildly successful at raising children, wildly successful at fill in the blank, whatever it is. But somewhere there's a little bit of stuck. I can't seem to go to the gym. I can't seem to put the donut down. I can't seem to
Shred the credit card.
Yeah, I can't seem to figure out communication with my spouse, right? There are always, and that's the whole point of the gratitude exercise, is to find an aspect of my life where I can feel this sense of gratitude and get incredibly present in the moment. But that's going to be a big part of what we uncover going forward in the show this year. We kind of spent the second half of 2024 diving into that relationship with money and taking our entrepreneurial tribe through the whole wealth journey process, the financial side of the whole wealth journey process, where we help people get a lot of clarity around how their financial resources can best support the people, the passions, the purpose, all of the things that really mean the most at the end of the day, right? How do we connect the dots between our money and what gives us great meaning.
Yeah.
And what we're kind of kicking off the year with now is pivoting. So I want to, in effect, do this kind of ceremonial check the box, right? We now get to check the financial house is in order box. If you've been with us since around July 1st of last year, and you've taken the suggestions of how to look at your wealth, how to unpack your story, how to kind of
Well, how to align your values
Yes.
with your money
exactly.
and live more intentionally with your money.
Yes.
Right. I mean, we talk all the time about the nature of the entrepreneur that we love to work with is someone that wants more from their money than just more money.
Right.
I say that slowly because it's something you probably the first time you hear it, you have to think about it. What do you mean I want what do you mean I want more from my money than more money? Well, it just in the context of it growing and multiplying and growing and multiplying, the book review that we're going to do is going to speak to this because it's really about an intentionality. And we've always talked on the show about being intentional with your money. This is now when you bring your values into the conversation. And if you have a partner, it's aligning those common values, right? Your individual values are still critically important, but now actually using the money. I mean, let's use you and me as an example of how the investment that we've made has been very significant in our health.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching and testing and consulting and peptides and supplements and workouts and you know what I mean? It's that
Memberships and conferences and
2
airplane
years ago?
tickets and hotel rooms
Yeah,
and
2 years ago
and food.
and
Healthy
better food.
Healthy food's expensive. Sorry, healthy food's costly.
Costly.
It's not
Nice.
expensive.
Very nice.
We'll get to the Ace. Make a note. We gotta delineate for
Very
the tribe
nice.
the difference between what's expensive and what's costly.
Yes. But you need to say it in the most beautiful
French way.
French accent. Which that
Absolutely.
was terrible, what I just did.
Yeah, not bad.
I can't even imagine 2 years ago. Certainly not a year ago, given where you were health-wise, just in terms of your physical pain. But even to go back 2 years and say that we would be not just able, but willing to make that kind of an investment in both of our health regimes, extraordinary.
And to be supported by our people in doing that.
Yeah.
Little pushback at times, but as the result,
Well, we cannot stress this enough, is in the same context as that we need to define the difference between expensive and costly. We need to define the difference between an investment and an expense.
yes.
If you continue to look at everything in your life as an expense, you will fail.
Absolutely.
You have to get over, I'm getting very hot about this. You have got to take the time to work on it, seeing it as an investment in you, in your people, in your process, in your company, in whatever it is that you're passionate about. It can't be considered an expense because it will bring in scarcity. It will bring in lack. It will suck the confidence out of you. And when you can consistently do that and flip it into the context of an investment, and I'm not trying to say this in an arrogant way that's flippant about spending money. That's not the point of the rant.
No.
The point of the rant is it's a mindset shift. So much of this is mindset and getting your mindset right around how do you, I mean, I've seen it with myself and my wife. How do you, well, I can't. Well, what do you mean you can't? Well, that's a lot of money. Okay. Well, do you want to feel better? Do you want to be healthier?
What's that worth?
What is that worth to you?
Sure.
Right? I heard this line the other day on an Instagram reel. You know what? This is the youngest we are ever going to be again right now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And when I see guys at the gym every morning that are 10 years, 20 years, actually 30, there's a couple of dudes 30 years my senior. In
Holy
their
cow.
Mid 80s showing up at the gym every day. That inspires the bejesus out of me, right? And it's just this mindset shift around how do you view the investment?
It's a choice.
The cost, excuse me.
Right.
How do you view the cost?
It's a choice. You have chosen to see things a different way. So, well, Jim, how do I do that? You make a choice and you have to practice.
Again
Right.
and again and again and again and again.
You have to surround yourself with people who are going to support you, much the way I don't want to hurry anymore. I know I can't do that by myself, right? How am I not going to hurry anymore? I don't know. For me, the answer is a lot more who than how.
Yeah.
Who's going to help me not worry anymore?
I love your point on surrounding yourself with the right people.
Absolutely.
Right. And we've talked many times about the concept of the energy that you get from people and certain people taketh, and being mindful and intentional around who you're spending your time with, and some of them might be in your very own family, as Bo used to say all the time, those naysayers, those Nelly negatives that are just persistent with, you can't do that. You can't do that. Right. I've got them in my family. I know you've got them in your family. Beth has them in her family. It's just nature.
Well, we're going to address that, because where we're kind of going with the conversation, I appreciate that you brought up potentially people in my immediate family. I have to be aware of how they influence my thinking. I have to be aware of how everybody in my life can influence my thinking. And so the next few episodes, we're going to kind of kick the year off with looking at wealth through a whole different lens. You talk about the entrepreneur who wants more from their money than just more money. What that boils down to, brother, is wealth with a Y, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So what is that?
We should come up with a website for that.
We should. We should put it on the website. In fact, I think if you go to gebhardtwholewealth.com or gebhardtgroupinc.com, depending on how your fingers want to find us, either one of those two URLs will take you to a website that is all about wealth with a Y, and an opportunity to connect more intimately with us, where we can actually have a two-way conversation versus this kind of monologue that comes out of studio from you and me just kibitzing like this. There's this epicenter, I believe, and I got to write about this in my book back in 2019 when I wrote the book Financial Sobriety, that I believe the epicenter of wealth is all about how we connect with people, right? And so when we look at this relationship that we have with people and how much of our wealth, this feeling of wealth, I'm not talking necessarily about quantifiable wealth,
dollars,
right? I'm talking about this
richness,
this feeling of being wealthy.
Yeah.
Because of the relationships in my life and the awareness I have about how those relationships serve me and how I serve those relationships. So we're going to get into a dialogue, not today, probably an episode or 3 or 4 down the road, this concept of concentric circles, where we can actually look at the different layers of relationship in our lives and really identify who the people are that occupy these different layers of relationship and what that really means as far as how I get to use my financial resources to support these relationships. What's an appropriate way to use those financial resources given where those layers of relationship exist in my life.
And that's some of the blind spot work that you and I absolutely love to do, because it's connecting the dots that people can't see for themselves.
Absolutely. Even before we do that, I think there's some foundational work that for the next couple of episodes, when we talk about this idea of the epicenter of true wealth and this idea that the epicenter of true wealth, I mean, this isn't a secret. We're not making this some big, cliffhanging punchline. The epicenter of true wealth is connecting with others. We're pack animals. It's just whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, right? We've talked about this, and we'll talk about it again. I always thought, and this was so much of my frustration in life, that I was an extrovert who just couldn't seem to figure out how to be comfortable in my own skin as an extrovert. When in fact, we've learned that I'm not. I'm an extroverted introvert. Where I get all of my energy is when I'm by myself. It's where I refill the tank, when I'm by myself or in a one-on-one, my most intimate of relationships, the handful of people that are on my most inside circle, or what you and I call the 2 a.m. club. When I'm with those people one-on-one, there's something that happens where I feel my tank filling up. And so just getting comfortable in my own skin and recognizing that the center of my wealth and feeling wealthy is about the quality of the connections I have with other people in my world. And sometimes that's just 1 or 2 or 3 other people. Some of us have smaller worlds of people than others, but that epicenter and what drives the connection between people is something that I'd like to spend the next few episodes really flushing out. And we kind of have been doing this subtly in every episode since 2019.
Yeah.
And it's what do you and I share? And we've intentionally not done that yet today. We
Right.
haven't talked about the G word yet.
Right. But before we get to the G word,
Okay.
Beth is the one that kind of taught me that concept of connection and who do you spend time with that fills your tank.
Oh,
And we, over the holidays, we just had an interesting conversation
okay.
that was how we're never invited to any holiday parties. And she was bemoaning the fact that we're not invited to any holiday parties. And it was a very fun role reversal where I got to look at her and go, well, I'm curious about that. You're the professor that taught the student that you only want to be with those people that give you energy. So why would we go to a party with a whole bunch of people that we don't really want to spend any time with when we have very little time to spend the time with the people that we want to spend the time with? And it just snapped her right out of the gap, right? She was in the
Sure.
gap around the popularity contest and then quickly got into the gain on, oh yeah, but we did spend time with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so.
Sure.
Right? All of our people that we have the closest connections with, that whenever we spend time with them, we leave with a fuller tank than when we started.
Yeah.
Versus some dreadful holiday. How are your holidays, Bob? Or are you taking the rest of the year off, Bob?
And even if there are one or two people at that party you'd want to spend time with, you can't.
I can't because I'm trapped in the corner with
A line of
Bob
people
from
wanting
accounting.
your autograph. Right,
Right.
exactly. Well, come on. Of course, the teacher is going to forget, and it's the student who's going to remind them. How many times have we seen this? We talked about this in studio a couple episodes ago when we did our little virtual recording. No, not for New Year's. It was our New Year's recording where there are some things you've taught me that I'm like, I can't unsee and I'm addicted to it. Like the alcoholic brain that I've got has just attached itself to these things and I do them sometimes alcoholically. And you have envy over that. You've shared
Yes.
some envy with me.
yes.
And it's like, well, hang on, dude. You've taught me how
Yeah.
to do
No.
this.
Yeah. No,
So go
absolutely.
Go do it too.
Go do it. Yeah.
Right. And so you got to do that with Beth. I just did this with our friend Phil in Reno. Right. Phil's one of my oldest mentors in the business and my oldest, like longest relationships and like age-wise senior dude. He's a
Yeah.
68-year-old friend of mine
Yep.
who, to look at him, he looks 12. I mean, I love his youthful spirit, but I got to sit at his dining room table a couple of weeks ago and kind of reflect some things back to him that he taught me. You know, Susan, his wife, is sitting there and going, see, I told you why we need to have him here. Right. It was wonderful. It was great. It was great. I'm so grateful for that.
That's fabulous. Well,
Right?
speaking of the G word,
Well, look, so this idea of connection, you and I, when I go back and think to when you and I first met, and I think about what I watched in you over the first few years and what really drew me into wanting to create relationship with you, it led us down this path of really pulling apart, like peeling apart this idea of human connection and what are the components that make it up. Or to honor our friend Kevin, what are the components that make up this thing, this epicenter, right? Like the center of the bullseye of human connection boils down to three things. At least what you and I have been able to identify in
Yeah.
the 20 or so years that we've been dancing in this pool.
Swimming.
Dancing pools, swimming in pools. That's better. Better idea. And number one, first and foremost, is this idea of gratitude. And what we've learned about gratitude and how gratitude has expanded in our lives from this feeling that we have to an action that we live out, that we express outwardly, like we live this life of gratitude and what that looks like. So since you're the person who kind of introduced me to gratitude, that really is the first key ingredient to develop connections with other people.
oh, no doubt. And
Where did it come into your life?
Well,
How did
it-
gratitude show up in your
Sure.
life for the first time?
well, it wouldn't be a new year on the show without a reference to Dan Sullivan and the strategic coach.
There you go.
And the exercise that you start every session with, which is called positive focus.
Right.
And so I started practicing this at home at the dinner table with the kiddos when Emily was probably like 5, 6. Grace was 2 or 3, and we'd sit around. And Beth had a meeting this one particular night, and it was October during baseball playoffs. And while you, I have to confess, are a devout, very devout fan of the game of baseball, I am more of a voyeur. I enjoy watching a little
Spectator.
spectator.
Yeah.
But then when, it's the high holidays, I really start to settle in for the postseason
Sure.
and I get excited about. So Beth goes off to her meeting and I'm sitting on the couch with Emily and Grace and we got a blanket and we're all snuggly and they're adorably cute. And Emily looks at me and she goes, Daddy, what's your focus pocus? And I got the biggest kick out of that because it's like, you know what? It seeped in.
Yeah.
It got in.
Yeah.
The concept got in. And this concept of practicing gratitude, no different than you practice anything else.
Sure.
Right? Is just become such a habit in our lives that it's how we start all of our meetings at Gebhardt Group.
Yeah.
It's how we start all of our client meetings, right? It's how you and I tend to start our day with some quiet reflection on what are we grateful for. It's so easy. It is so easy to sit and complain and to look at everything that's going on in the world and fill your wagon of woe.
Yeah, I'm going to push back and tell you it's hard to do that because it makes life hard when you do that.
Oh, it absolutely makes life hard. But the material is presented for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fill your wagon full of woe.
Right. The only reason I'm saying it's hard is because there may be people in our tribe who are like, this whole gratitude thing that you guys do, it's too hard to do that, right?
Sure.
It's hard. Well, not being grateful is hard. Like the complaining wagon, choose your heart.
Choose your heart.
Life's hard.
Sure.
That's going to be a huge theme on the show this year.
Sure.
Life's hard.
Yeah.
We're going to learn to accept that
Right.
and choose how we experience hard.
Yeah. How you respond.
Exactly.
Right.
And how you experience it, how you live it.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this way of living, frankly, is at this point, I really wouldn't know how any other way to do it.
Sure.
Right. It would be hard to imagine not being able to find things in my life that I'm grateful for, because most all of the quote unquote bad things that have happened in my life, I can actually, once I get some distance from it, I can actually find gratitude for it.
Yes.
I mean, we've told the story on the show so many times, but my whole episode in 2007 and 2008 with the real estate and the market and our baby being born and we own 2 houses a mile apart, with some time, that's actually one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me, was going through all of that strife, all of that struggle, all of that stress.
Would you mind, for those who haven't heard the story, just a
Sure.
version?
Sure.
Because I think sometimes you and I assume that if you're here with us today, you've been here and heard the gazillion times we've told a story.
Well,
And
they goddamn better be. But new listeners can go listen to the Joe Rogan show. I'm only looking for the loyal listeners that have been with us for all 5 years.
right.
Post that on our website, will you please?
Exactly.
So the story goes back to 2007 and the fact that we had at that point we had three.
Yeah, I was
we
gonna
had
say
three.
this many.
And we owned a fixer-upper that we decided not to fix up, and we were going to move.
Well, that's
So-
what happens when you have three of these little tots. You
Yes.
guys aren't man-to-man defense anymore. Now it's zone
It
defense
is
in your house.
Jim Boeheim, Syracuse University zone defense.
How the hell are you supposed to fix up a house when you're chasing three little ones around?
Who, not how, pal.
Well, you need
And we didn't
a
have
little
the
time for that
scratchish
yet.
for that
Right,
either.
Right.
So we buy another house, but we buy it non-contingent. I'll skip over what that means. I'm going to assume you know what that means if you don't use AI to figure it out. The great meltdown in the bond market started in August of 2007. We bought this home in July. So we go through a few escrows where people, can't get the financing. The banks are starting to seize up a little bit. And it's now January. We still haven't sold the other house. We're carrying both mortgages a mile apart.
Yikes.
We're going to bed one night and I look at Beth and I say, "Hey," we're brushing our teeth. "Hey, I got a funny story I got to tell you." And she looks at me and goes, "Oh, I got a funny story for you too, buddy." So we hop in bed, and to this day, I have no recall, Your Honor, on what my funny story was. Her funny story with a lot of emotion was at the age of 42, she was pregnant. So here comes baby number 4. We own 2 houses a mile apart. Baby number 4 is due in September. Sell the house in June. Roll around to September 14th, 2008. You can fact check me on this, but I know I'm right. AIG, Merrill Lynch,
Lehman Brothers.
Lehman Brothers.
And Bear?
Kaput. No, Bear went in March.
Oh, they went earlier. That's right.
They were the warning shot.
Yes.
But those three large institutions all go BK on a Monday morning. Grant's born 4 days later. So now at this point, we don't have any money. We have got more debt than I could ever imagine. Yeah, we sold the other house, but we built up debt in the process to try to carry both. And now the stock market's in free fall. Month of October, the stock market's down 20%. Our business is predicated on the basis of the revenue that comes from the performance of the stock market.
Happy holidays.
Whew. So long and the short of it was I was not in a good space and I saw no way out. And that really, looking back on it, because of the decisions that I made and how we pivoted our asset management approach from a traditional, as I was trained as a classical buy and holder from Merrill Lynch days, now this methodology of being tactical, right, and strategically making shifts. But it was embracing the fact that it's like, I can't do this again.
Right.
I can't go through another one of these again.
So you used it as an incredible learning opportunity.
Oh my God. It was painful. But it was. And I can now look back on it with an unbelievable sense of gratitude that it helped fundamentally shift my thinking, fundamentally shift how we manage money, and just all the other kind of dominoes that fell as a result of being open, right? Carol Dweck has a wonderful book called The Growth Mindset. And this whole concept of staying open, right? Being open to the possibility and the idea is this growth mindset. And I don't think that book was even written then. And if it was, I certainly hadn't read it. That has been one of the keys to our success all these years is staying open and positive. Sure, there's setbacks, right? I always use the same example of I need new material in 2025. But the Candyland slide, right?
Sure.
The game we played as kids, the Candyland, where you're making your way up and now, you rolled a 5 and back you go.
Right.
That's life.
Right.
It's not this beautifully smooth 45-degree angle up and to the right. It's this jiggity-jaggedy, uphill, downhill. Sometimes you hit the slide and you go back.
Yes.
And, oh, baby, I hit the slide and went back in 07 and 08. And, it was probably 2013 before life started to normalize. That's a very long time in the life of little people. And that gratitude probably saved my life.
And you didn't even really know it was at play.
No.
Until you got to the other side.
Yeah,
But now,
until you got, again, that concept of when you're in the storm, when you're in the hurricane, right? When you're in the tornado, when you're in the blizzard, you can't see.
the first time, because now you and I go through storms and blizzards, and we've learned from the old storms and blizzards.
Yeah, that the sun will come out again.
And so for a moment, in the hardest times a year ago, when I could not stand the pain,
Yes.
because of the experiences that we have been through, this is where gratitude, again, my say no more list this year is very simple. No more hurrying, no more rushing. The miracle that is gratitude is that it slows everything down in the moment.
And flushes the decks.
Oh, it slows. So
On
for
whatever's
me,
happened.
when I'm feeling this pain, everything is speeding up, and it's like this feeling of anxiety and no hope, and I'm not going to get through this. And to just find something, well, I could do that. I'm grateful I still have the ability to inhale and exhale.
Sure.
Right? As simple as that. And then what starts happening is how gratitude has morphed for us from this feeling
To a verb.
to an action, right? Where you and I both drive around with license plates covers that say, "Did you gratitude today?"
Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed nobody's honked their horn and gone, what in the hell does that mean? That is terrible English.
Uh-huh. It's coming. I'm going to guess more people have seen it and then will scratch their head going, what the hell does that mean?
100%.
I think people do that. And that's where gratitude has become, where it's morphed. Because, brother, at the end of the day, what this is all about, gratitude is the foundation for connection with other people and the action that we take and how we express gratitude, the generosity of our time, that our ability to sit and listen and be present. That is how we express our gratitude. Making our wives a cup of coffee in the morning and bringing it to them is how we express our gratitude. all these
Can
little
I add,
things.
Can I add emptying the dishwasher?
Ooh, go ahead.
Yeah.
You add it.
I was, wait for it, rushing this morning.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, I don't have to empty the
gratitude cleaner? Good one.
So the dishwasher for me that's one of my things that I do because I know my wife loves a nicely cleaned, tucked kitchen with an empty dishwasher, because then I'm off to the gym and then she's doing the short order quick breakfast routine.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way the dishwasher is empty to be able to load said breakfast. Anyway.
There's something about developing a morning gratitude routine. There's something about what you do. We have an old friend, Mark Martinez, if you're listening.
God bless you.
Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year.
Something you shared with me, Mark, 2.5 years ago when you were in your own health journey was this idea of starting your day with staples. What are the staples that you start your day with in the morning that set the foundation for the rest of your day?
Folgers in your cup.
For some people, yeah, absolutely. Mark was talking about the smoothies that he makes and the water that he drinks and just how he starts his day. But one of the things we also talked a lot about was how gratitude becomes a foundational part of the day. That I start my day with gratitude. When my eyes open up, I just feel and express a little bit of gratitude for the fact that I got another one. I got another one. I got one. We get one today. One of the gifts of seeing your mortality, one of the gifts of having that right in your face is a little bit more awareness of the fragility of life. It's a gift that I think everybody should experience at some point, is just the frailty of life and how much each day is a gift, is a blessing, and the fact that tomorrow is not a guarantee.
Right.
So I'm going to start my morning with gratitude. What am I grateful for today? And then allow that to bring itself into existence throughout the day with my actions in how I show up with people. I love cooking dinner for my family. It brings a great amount of stress to my family when we don't know what the dinner plans are. So for me to step up and prepare something beautiful and healthy and delicious at times, my experiments, not always, but always delicious and fun and healthy, is the way I express gratitude at the end of the day, right? But it starts with this intention of what am I grateful for in the morning.
I hope everybody is either taking notes or thinking of what they can do tomorrow morning to kick that off, right? To just, again,
Little things.
Anchor, say it with me, tribe, only has to get off the bottom of the pond about a half an inch to get in motion.
Yep.
How can you get in motion on gratitude? You might be grousing through this entire episode on, there they go again.
Yeah.
With gratitude.
Yeah.
Haven't they talked enough about gratitude?
Oh, we're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just clearing our throats.
Yeah.
Because it obviously hasn't caught on.
Well, it's the foundation of that connection with people. And
it's critical.
The next few episodes are all going to be about this component of our wealth, which is all within the relationships we have with other people, which, let's face it, they're hard. Relationships are hard. Connecting with people is hard, especially in this day and age, post-COVID, the whole virtual world we live in, the whole AI world we live in. Everybody's got their face in their iPhones, and we've lost, in many senses, that sense of connection with one another. So our mission here for the next few episodes is providing some insight and some tools to help reestablish some of that connection. If you're struggling in the world of connecting with your people, it's going to start with an expression of gratitude. In the next couple of episodes, we're going to expand that. We're going to get into this idea of vulnerability and what that looks like. We're going to talk about vulnerability and compassion and empathy and all those cool things.
All of the key components to the certified financial planning curriculum and the wealth management school of life.
Absolutely. Yes. And then with that, we're also going to talk about this thing called trust, which seems to be a very, very fleeting...
Like a bank and trust?
Kinda.
Like a trust company?
Sure.
Oh.
How about a trust in one another?
Ooh.
A trust in each other. Especially...
That must be in the appendix of all those curriculums.
When we don't necessarily see the world through the same set of lenses. How can we still establish and maintain trust with those that we have differences with?
Well, you're red and I'm blue. Or you're blue and I'm red.
Sure.
Or I haven't got to say it yet. You're a Jew and I'm a Gentile.
Attaboy. There you go. I love it. I love it.
The question that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
around the concept of gratitude
Uh-huh.
is when you're out and about in your daily life, are you attracted to people that are grouses, or are you attracted to people that have gratitude?
I'm personally attracted
Don't give me the happy horseshit answer.
to the people who have grouses.
I knew you were going to say that.
Uh-huh. Because I want to
But that's-
show them gratitude.
But that's not where you were,
No.
right?
No, I see somebody with a frown on their face, and I immediately want to go up to them and put a big old smile on my face and say, "Hi, I'm Matt. Who are you?"
Yeah.
Right? And just see
Well,
what happens with that.
The evolution of your gratitude practicing, right? Have you gratituded today,
Yeah.
or whatever our license plate frames say? But isn't that so interesting? Because if someone is open and full of gratitude and not necessarily grousing about stuff, it's very easy to connect with that person.
Yep.
Versus the grouches that I hear in the locker room that are complaining about every living thing. It's like a repellent. It is like kryptonite for me. I can't get away from those people fast enough. Now, they could have very interesting stories. They could have very interesting reasons why they're grousing. They could have just buried their wife a week ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But unfortunately, I don't have much curiosity to go into the dirty pool and hang out with the grouses yet.
Yeah, don't worry. It's coming. You're going to hang out with me a little longer, and it's inevitable.
Okay.
You can't unsee
Well,
it. Because of the energy that I get from being curious about why somebody lacks gratitude and helping them see how gratitude can become a tool out of the darkness and how it has helped me do that very thing. I mean, just this connection with people, brother, has been the key to the wealth that I have been able to accumulate in my life. Who, not how. And let's face it, our clients pay us very well to help them solve some of the most complex problems they're ever going to come across.
yes,
And guess what?
they're not always about money.
We're generally solving those problems because we're really good at finding who, not how. So here's what I'd love. I'm going to ask our tribe to do something. If gratitude has become a part of your routine, or it's showing up in your life and it's becoming meaningful, look at the device that you're listening to us on right now. And in the show notes, you're going to see a hyperlink right at the top for you to send us a text message. Send us a message. We'd love to hear how gratitude is showing up in your life today. Because then in the next few episodes, when we get into vulnerability and trust, we're going to really kick this ability to connect and create true wealth in a whole new way.
Sounds
Kicking
good
it
to
up
me.
a notch. I
love it.
All right, let's keep going. And with that, brother,
That's a wrap.
Thanks for joining us today on the Whole Wealth Journey. Whatever your path may look like, our purpose is to make sure that your way forward aligns with your core values and intentions. Are you ready to start planning for a future that's rich in wealth and well-being? Then click like and subscribe and make sure you don't miss a single episode of the Whole Wealth Journey. So if we've struck a nerve with you today, where do people go? You can find us at gebhardtwholewealth.com. That's GEBHARDT wholewealth.com. And once you get there, make sure you connect with us so you can take the first steps to finding your why. We'll see you next time.
Jim Gebhardt is a registered representative of and securities offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Jim Gebhardt and Matthew Grishman are investment advisor representatives of Gebhardt Group Incorporated, a registered investment advisor. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, and Gebhardt Group Incorporated are not affiliated. The opinions in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or investment recommendations. To determine which investments or financial advice may be appropriate for you, consult a financial advisor prior to investing. Any reference to market performance is based on historical information, and there is no expressed or implied guarantee of future performance. Opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. The topics discussed and opinions given are not intended to address the specific needs of any listener. Gebhardt Group Incorporated does not offer legal or tax advice. Listeners are encouraged to discuss their financial needs with the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.